The honeycomb is included and it's magnetic, always nice. The secondary box includes the air assist, the laser, and the hose. This is the version of the laser that has the module with 30 watts and 10 watts. You just switch, so you don't need to swap different modules.
Understand. You don't.
This laser has a camera built in that covers the whole area for your laser. Once inside, you will see the camera is nice and flush. There is nothing protruding out of the lid. These are some limit switches or sensors that detect when you open the laser and cuts the power. So this is actually a class 1 laser. So that's always nice. Drag chain to cover all the cables, linear rails to have a better motion and faster motion, and also avoid vibrations. That is something everyone should have in their machines. Let's take this away. So on the honeycomb, here is a little knobs that helps you to align your honeycomb. When you set it in, it locks in place. You have 3, one is empty always, and there's a third one. So those 3 helps to keep your honeycomb in place. The base plate aligns the same knobs to align your rotary, and you can remove it. When you remove it, you can raise your laser so you can work on taller materials. Once again, there is a little switch in this laser, so you can use 30 watts or 10 watts. 30 watts is great for cutting, 10 watts is amazing for detail. I personally like to use the exhaust on the left because normally it's on the back. It has a kit that you can cover, put it on the left, and you're good to go. So that's for me. Again, LaserMatic XW. This is the extended width of the laser, or extra wide. The camera has a nice cover. The cable goes through this all the way to the back. So you might need an extension cord for your USB because it's a little short, but that's not an issue. So they include on this the knobs and the honeycomb, and when it's set, it's really sturdy. It doesn't move, doesn't shift, so you can square everything. The little box with some sample materials, this one right here, it has a preset of what they already tested. So you see here they already ran some testing for cutting in 10 watt, and also they have the speed and power they use for engraving and 10 watt cutting, the 30 watt cutting as well. And you will see there different things. This is hardwood, so it's actually nice to have something they taste the laser. So you can use this as a guide, but always run your own test. This is you can see here how deep it cuts and how it went on each one. Here's all the powers, and what is really nice, they have the signature saying that it passed the test, so that's always cool. Okay, so we have the Roly installed. I just put on the USB provided with the machine. So we're gonna look really quick on what we have. let's go to the Roly. So you will see here that we have a lbdef, which is the configuration file for Lightburn. We also have here a lbcm, which is a configuration file for your camera. So we're gonna do this in a different video because I want to make sure that you guys get that very well. There's some serial driver USB. I have this installed before with another machine just a couple of days ago, so I'm not installing this, but you have to install this. Let's go back. There is the material settings library, and it's divided by 10 watt, 20 watt, and 30 watt. So this is something that you can add depending on what you have. Right now, this module have a 30 watt and a 10 watt option, so I can use these too. I already have a library, as you see here, and this library is for my fiber, so I'm gonna keep that library right now. I can add another library here if I want it. I have a library I did for my Xtool D1, but I'm not installing this library just now. So let's go back one more. Then there is some firmware tool for future updates. There is a version of Lightburn. Definitely this is a demo. You need to buy a license. And laser gravel. This is a very basic software, very powerful though, but it's not as friendly as others. So let's proceed with the configuration. So right now I'm running Lightburn 1.6.03. The 17 is on a pre-release, but that's a different story. So you have everything here in Lightburn, and as you guys know, on the right I have all my lasers, and you see here my other Roly. I have the Xtool F1 Roly, I have S1 here, my fiber with the two lenses. This is the Goofy laser, and this one is the Devil one from Kobe Schmidt on Geeks at Large. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on devices, and you will see your list. You can expand this if you need it to, so you can read it better. And of course, you're not going to use the Find My Laser. You don't need to create one manually or nothing for like that. So for now, we're going to just import. So we're going to click import. I'm going to go to the thumb drive, and automatically you will see the lbdef. So you are going to open this file. I'm going to double click, and super quick, just like that. You see here Roly. There you go. Is Roly LaserMatic MK2, which is the model. The XW, which is, or MK2 is a version, and XW is the model. This is the extra wide, and the M12. So it's basically like the first Roly that I have on the top here, but is the extra wide version. And this is a G-code and laser gravel configuration file. So I'm going to click OK. So now that it's there, I'm going to select that laser on my list. So if it's not connected, make sure that the COM is the correct one. So I've been using on my Roly COM7. So I'm going to switch right now for COM7. And there you go. The machine is now humming once connect. There is. So we have the machine live. Everything is here. You see that automatically you have your working area. And something that is really cool with Roly is that the working area is super accurate. It's like really to the corner of the zero where it's going to work. So I just want to move my laser a couple times. So I'm going to create a circle here. I'm going to create a circle here and a circle here. So I'm just doing this to make sure that my laser move correctly. Nothing specific. I'm not going to run tests right now. I just want to make sure that it connects and everything move like it should be. So I'm going to send this to the center of the circle. So I'm going to move laser to selection center. And we see the laser going. There it is. Now I'm going to send it to this one. I'm just testing right now the movement. That's perfect. Now let's go to this oval down here. And there it is. It seems like it's moving fine. I'm going to move this one here right now just to make sure. One more. And now I'm gonna hit home. There it is. So it seems to be moving just fine. There is no issues on this. So now all we have to do is start a project. So remember, Roly in this case has the 30 watt and the 10 watt. If someone wants to start with a library, you can, load the library. You can merge your libraries. You can create a brand new library from anything you need. Just put it in here. For the camera, I don't have the camera connected yet, but to load the settings, there is no an option here to load the settings. All you have to do is right click anywhere, as you can see, and import camera settings. When you do that, you can go back to the Roly setup and you will see that LBCM file. When you open that, your camera is completely set. The only thing that you have to do is the camera alignment. Okay, I placed the coasters in what I think is approximately where the camera calibration is going to be. I've been doing camera calibrations with other machines too, so I want to show you. So if you don't have so far your camera profile loaded, so right click on the camera control. If you don't have the camera control, you can go to Windows and select camera control. So right click anywhere, whatever you do, anywhere. Import camera settings. I'm not going to import it, I already did in the first part, so import it. And once you have that import, what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go to laser tools on the top menu, and we are going to calibrate the alignment. So I want to ask you, where is your camera position? So on the side of the module or on the top? So this is on the top. You're going to select your camera. You want to hit next, and I'm running right now with a 30 watt. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a full speed. So I'm gonna do probably 60, line speed probably 80, and I'm gonna lower my power to 40 and 40%. That might be really good as it is. Probably I can do this 170. It will be fine. Again, my material thickness, this is important because you do a camera alignment per thickness. So you have right now a 3mm wood, so it will be 3mm. I'm working my speed on millimeters per second. Normally this is configured out of the box to millimeters per minute, so it will be this number times 60. And the scale on their manual, they specify that at least use 160. So I want to go with that right now, and before do anything else, I'm going to click frame and pay attention to my laser. And I want to make sure that it's on top of the squares. So it seems to be fine. So now that it's all there, I'm gonna make one more frame. The one on the back is probably a little bit too far back. I just adjust the position, frame once again. All right, I'm happy with that, so I'm gonna click start. This is gonna do the numbers, and then the circle, then go to the next number, circle, and so on and so forth. Okay, Now that everything is done, I'm not gonna touch anything there. What we are going to do is we're gonna hit next here, and you're gonna see an image of your camera. You see the whole honeycomb here, and a couple things to basically jog the laser if it's in the way. Since I have the laser out of the way, I'm gonna just capture the image, and you will see here. Now this is important. This is the curvature. Don't think that this is wrong if you never do this before. This is the curvature correction. This is how the lens, because it's a fisheye lens, is correcting to be able to capture everything in the honeycomb. So we are just in this part, but it's capturing all the way to the corners, as you can see here. So now that this is fine for me, I'm gonna go next. Now you say click the marker number 1. Now here you're gonna use your mouse wheel or your trackpad to zoom in, and you're gonna see the number 1. So you see a number 1 here, and right in the middle, just go with the mouse as closest to the middle as possible and double click. There's that. Zoom out, and I'm gonna zoom in on the marker number 2. Same thing on the intersection of this cross. That is okay. I'm gonna drag. If you have a 3 buttons mouse with the wheel, you know you can click the middle to drag around or pan. I'm gonna zoom into the third one. Same procedure. Double click, zoom out, and zoom into the number 4. There we go. So this makes a line that it will tell the laser where is everything basically located. I'm gonna hit next and say you are done. That's finished. So things that you wanna do here, for example, first of all, you're gonna select your camera. You see the camera here now. You don't have any kind of shift or alignment, so you're gonna probably wanna play with this depending on how close to your alignment things are. So I'm gonna move these pieces a little bit, and we're gonna give it a try. So let's see that. Okay, I move the pieces just randomly like that, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to update overlay. So you will see this overlay now on your working area. So the thing that I want to do is I'm going to create a circle. I want to hold shift down and make a circle here, and I want to now go like this, and I want to change this circle to line. I just want to make a line. I don't want nothing too complicated. So I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to put this in the center, and I'm going to shrink my circle. Hold down this. Oh, I'm in the middle, my bad. There you go. So here and here. So I want to make my circle, want to correct that around that specifically, and I want to see how accurate is that. The pixels are like jumping, so we can turn off the snap, but let's do that later. So I'm gonna copy the circle. I want to zoom in here. I'm gonna go my mouse here, and look that I just copied the circle. Now I'm gonna put my mouse in the area, and where my mouse is, I'm gonna press Ctrl V to paste it in place. So it will be pretty much where it is, always paste on the area of the circle. Now same here, the intersection, and Ctrl V to paste. So that's pretty much spot on. I'm gonna move it probably just a tad. There you go. Now I'm gonna do number 4 that now is here, and Ctrl B again. So you can see now I have these 4 circles. So I'm gonna check my settings because I don't want this to be a fire. Number 1 line, I can turn on or off the air assist. I don't care much about it right now. Millimeters per second, I'm gonna say 80. Max power, I'm gonna say 50 in this case. Line 1 pass, there's no correction on the curve. Okay. And since I didn't touch anything, I'm not humming my laser, nothing. I just move this around. I'm going to just hit start and see what happened. Okay, so that did the circles. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to select these 4 circles and I'm gonna cut them out. So as you can see, there's nothing here yet, but I'm going to update the overlay, and there's the circles. So now that you see that, let me undo the cut. So you see this circle is a little bit off here, and this is like a millimeter off or so. So it's pretty on the spot. The one that is under the camera almost is right on the money. Let's look at this one. There is also basically, it's a little bit skew on the top, but it's not that terrible. This one is on the side, is here. So it's pretty much good. This one is a little bit skew. So when this one come up a little bit skew, that's where you use these controls here. So there is a Y shift, X shift, width and height. So these are corrections that you can use, and when you click this, you will see that this move in a specific value that will help you to adjust the location. So if you want to do this in more specific value, you will need to enter the number. So when you do this, you want to make sure that you are actually adding the right amount. And once you do that, also you want to make sure that you are, I just play with the number right now, that you are keeping an eye on the rest. So this one is on the top, so let's see, up goes up, down goes down. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna look into this one. So this one goes skew a little bit, so let's split the difference there. And this one got a little bit off too, so I'm gonna split again this. I don't think it can take 2 decimals, so it's only 1. I think 1 is fine for me. So that helps you to give a better alignment. And once you have this done for this specific, again, this is thickness specific. Once you have this, what you do here, you right click, you export your camera settings, right? And when you save the camera settings, you can say something like, for example, you are on your documents or stuff like that. You can say here, Lightburn camera settings, and that's your file. Now, if you need to do something a little more complicated than that, I mean, camera settings, export again. So you have this file. I want to cut the file and I'll put it on the folder, camera Lightburn. So here in my folder, I'm gonna save this setting now, and I'm gonna say that this is camera settings, 3 millimeters, and that's it.